Troops to be commanded from villages they are in rather than calling them back. Again, that has a positive benefit and has a negative benefit. It does change the game. It's something that we wouldn't want to do right now, not until we have all the other things still on our plate to do. Abandoning no grace after a certain stage of the realm. So basically, an inactive player disappears from the realm instead of going abandoned, going gray, in a realm at a certain point in time, perhaps when it got closed. It's a very interesting idea. We are looking for ideas how to deal with perhaps players going abandoned, how to deal with the empires that grow to extreme sizes of 1,000 villages. But again, this has a possibility of creating these deep empty spots in a realm, and we don't know really what the effect will that be without really experimenting with that, really simulating it, without having you guys to help us understand it. So it's not something that we just put in so lightly because we don't understand the actual benefit and the perhaps negative effects of this feature. It's a good idea, not something that we can do at the moment. It was suggested that we use the new research idea to create specialty villages similar to the bonus villages. We can't do that at the moment because the research is based on a player, not in a village. You research you research across all villages, so that would require some design changes there. And research was always designed to be something fun you can do at the beginning, but as soon as you capture your second or third village, it becomes basically obsolete and is not part of the active part of the game. So you don't have more things you have to do for every single village you capture. That's not what the game is about once you capture a few villages. In fact, you want to build up the village as quickly as possible in as automated way as possible. So we can't use research for that purpose. This allowing gang attacks put an end to bullying and many players attacking a single player. Example, 10 players, 3 times one size attacking non-stop for a week. Okay, so this is interesting. One is that Realm of Empires was always designed to be a game where it benefits to work with other players. So bullying by having 2 players attack another is not really bullying, it's part of the game. In fact, that's what the game is about. And in fact, I personally believe that's what makes Realm of Empires good, is that when you can convince someone in the game to help you, you can do so later on in life, at work. So it's actually something that you can learn that's usable in real life. So it's not something that we would be limiting because it's what we believe is part of the game. If you're defending, you have the same option of getting other people to help you. And if 3 people are attacking one person, and that one person defending can get 2 other people to help him, in fact, that person is at an advantage, as we feel, because the troops can be put into just his villages, the 3 players' troops into just villages of 1 player. So we don't see that as really as a negative thing. It's really part of the game. However, we already put things that will make this somewhat, I don't know how to say this, to somehow control this behavior, if I can say, so that the advantages are somewhat limited. One is obviously the handicap that we brought in. So when a strong player attacking a weak player, that person does so at its advantage. And we will experiment with making the handicap more aggressive, especially at the beginning of the realm. We do plan to do that in new realms and see how that goes. Perhaps making it more, making the handicap more aggressive at the beginning and slowly phasing it out as the realm ages. And obviously the unit attrition that we brought in also prevents a number of players to fake attack another player without any kind of losses. But I think there's another question coming up related to this, so I'll leave it here and deal with that. Okay, yeah, that's right. Revamp your troop atrophy system to better eliminate fake attacks and affect all armies, including full ones. So we're talking about the unit attrition, that when you send a certain number of troops over a long distance of time, or long distances, then some troops will desert, basically will leave. So you have to send more and more troops if you want to fake attack someone. If you want to, instead of sending just 1 ram, you have to send 10 rams, for example. So to answer that, first of all, the system was never designed to affect full armies. We don't want to limit that. If a person wants to attack a person for real, then they should be allowed to do so. if they do so over long distance, then a defender has an advantage by being able to prepare for that attack, 30, 40 hours away. However, we do believe that the entropy, the troop atrophy, or the unit attrition system does work well to eliminate or minimize fake attacks. We cannot remove fake attacks in general because they are very much part of the game. So not really sure what you mean by revamp. If you guys have specific suggestions, then again, I would suggest that you discuss them on the forum and come up with a consensus change, consensus suggestion for change, and we'll definitely look into it. But we don't see at the moment any need to change it, and we wouldn't know how. Okay, so we're done. Oh, good. I don't know if we're on time. Mark, are we on time?
Yeah, we're actually 10 minutes ahead of schedule, so that's very good.
Oh,
More
good.
time for
My
questions.
monologue. It's very weird, everybody, by the way, talking when no one's talking back. Sometimes wonder if I'm still on.
Well, we got a lot of questions, and what we'll do now, I know a lot of people actually joined while you're speaking, Greg, so for those that weren't here from the beginning, we will be posting this on YouTube, so if you want to check it out, if you missed any of the beginning, you can do so. And what I'll do now is I'll go through the questions that have been submitted to us while Greg was speaking. And
before you do, Mark, I just wanted to go over a couple of admin stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you can go through that. I just wanted to bring you guys a couple of things that, especially for those who have joined us later, you do ask your questions in the questions panel, so you can go ahead and write a question there, and we'll get to it. We'll answer the questions on a first-come, first-served basis. Please, like Mark was saying, we're going to read the question that you've asked. We're going to explain how we understand it, and we're going to offer for you guys to add to it, to elaborate on it, and you'll be able to actually talk. So make sure your mic is working correctly. Please make sure you keep your, your explanation to, a minute if you can, just for the sake of time. Make sure the questions are appropriate. Make sure the questions are on topic.
Right, and Greg. Sorry, just because not everybody has a microphone, what I'll ask is that if you do want to follow up, then just raise your hand. There's a button that you can click to raise your hand, and I'll make sure you can speak. Does that sound good, Greg?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So first question, and this is actually a question that several people have asked. It's to get some clarification on the shared connection ban. Whether we're still going to implement it, when will it come into effect, what do we plan on doing if somebody wishes to get a refund, and will there be a written warning and a time limit given? So that all encompasses this new terms of use change that we've announced on the forums.
Right. Okay. So we've had a informal discussion with a few participants who have arrived early about this. And for those of you who have arrived later, it's a good time to just talk about this. Okay, so this new feature, first of all, sorry, new rule, I should say. It has already come into effect. It is in terms of use. It is already active. You don't have to worry if you're playing with a spouse or someone next door that will suddenly ban you. That's probably the most important thing. This particular rule is a rule for us to offer a warning. We have an automated system that we monitor that sends a warning to those who have followed a particular pattern, and that will basically tell you that you are sharing connection, or we deem you sharing connection with that person, and we ask you to follow this rule. Now, like with all the rules that we have created, we're making a game for you guys to play. We're making games that you guys want to play. It's not what we want, it's what you guys want. That's the bottom line. And you know that we have changed certain decisions. We have done things that, like gifting the villages thing, that's something that we felt very strongly about, that gifting of villages should not be allowed in stewardship. You guys decided otherwise, and we changed that. So we are here to make a game that you guys like and you guys want to play. And we haven't had a chance to really read your comments on this particular rule. We'll do so. But it is a rule that is pretty much common in every single game of this type that's out there, literally. Any game that's been around for a little longer has this rule, has this limitation, saying that if you do play so closely together that you're basically sharing connection, the chances are that most people in this case are cheating. these are not real people. That's one. For those who are, it gives them a great opportunity to cheat, because when my wife is playing next to me on the computer, I can just quickly go in, log into her account, and help myself or attack someone from two accounts. It is extraordinarily easy, even if you don't want to abuse this and basically play two accounts as basically your second account. So because of that, most games out there, I haven't come across anyone that's been around for more than a couple of years that doesn't have that, limits what a person on the shared connection can do. Period. That's just the way it is. No one wants to go around banning people, and you know, a lot of the games actually hard code these rules, so you simply cannot do this. So it is. We feel that it's a you know, a perfectly understandable. I shouldn't say perfectly understandable. It is a, how can I say this? it is a limitation that makes sense, but at the end we're going to read your comments. We'll figure out what to do. At the moment, the rule is there, and I would ask all of you to abide by this. That if you are sharing a connection and you do get a warning from us, or if you know you're playing with your spouse or your friend in the same house, or you know, something like that, then you do basically do not interact with each other. It doesn't mean you cannot attack, you know, the same clan. It just don't attack the same person. Don't have an interaction between you guys. I know this is not a question that you guys want, not an answer that you guys want to hear, but it's not something that we're going to be able to resolve today in this meeting. And this meeting was not really created for the purpose of resolving this issue. So we'll look into it. I don't know if that's good enough, but I think we'll have to do for now. I think once we have a chance to read more comments, we to talk more about this.
Okay. If anyone does want to follow up or ask a question over the mic, please raise your hand. Anyway, I'll continue now. Will the clan cap be lifted on Realm 17?
Right, clan cap. So it has been increased from 30 to 60. That's one. We have so far good results from this feature because it did get more people involved. A clan has to find somebody else who wants to lead a sister clan so they can grow, basically. So it does get more people involved instead of just everything falling on one person to organize a clan, and then that person has to leave, and the whole clan of 200 people or so, you know, disintegrates. But we do want to quickly bring a feature that allows you to share a forum between clans, and we think that's necessary for the clan cap to be there. If we cannot bring it in, then we'll probably lift it. If we can quickly, then it will be there to stay on Realm 17. And we hope that we can ask you guys what you think about it, and we'll see whether this will be some feature that's going to be there to stay. Hope that answered the question. Not sure.